My Ancient Secrets family. Welcome, welcome. And I see some old friends and some new friends. It's been a minute since I've been here with you guys, so it's good to be here with you. Let's see who's here. I see. Hey, Shifra. Nice to see you. And
Very
Linda.
nice this morning. Thank you,
Good.
Erin.
Good
Thank you
morning. Good
for
morning.
inviting in Athiti Devo Bhava. I seem to embody that some days.
Mm, it's
I
my
pass it back
favorite.
to you.
Yes. And
I could be the
then
last speaker. All right. Love you.
wonderful. Jerem, my friend, good to see you, Jerem. And then let's see who's here. A lot of new people that I'm not sure. Albert, I we had is a new friend for me, and is it Ariana? Looks
You
like
got it.
okay. And Christine, hi Christine. Ah, my friend Luke is here. Hey Luke, good to see you. Hi Nehemiah. All right. The gang, I was gonna say the gang's back together. You guys have probably been here. I was the one that was MIA for a bit. And
Good to see you
then,
again.
yes, you too. Okay. Deborah Ann is a new friend for me. Hi. And I'm hearing an echo. I'm not, is anybody else hearing that? Okay. I don't know if
It
who's
should be
coming
good
from.
now. It was most likely Nehemiah.
Okay.
We had that
Okay.
last week as well.
Got it. Okay. Beautiful. And if you're not on camera, that's okay. Beverly, hi Beverly. It's good to see you. Okay. But we invite you to come on camera. And Jane, good morning, Jane. Nice to see you. Can everybody share? Just type into the chat where you are in the world, and let's see. Mount Shasta, magical place. Grass Valley. I've heard really beautiful things around Grass Valley. Cottonwood. I was just in Sedona last week. I was just right around the corner from Cottonwood in that vortex. Olympia last week. Oh, no, you just got back from Nepal, Luke. Amazing. Okay, Cleveland, Tennessee. I didn't know there was a Cleveland in Tennessee. I used to live in Nashville. I'm going to assume that you were correct and you didn't do a typo. How ridiculous would have that been if I was like, "No, Jane, you're wrong. You actually it's Cleveland's in Ohio. That's not correct." Where is Cleveland in Tennessee? Is it west, central, east?
It's east. We're just above Chattanooga.
Okay, by the Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Yem, Yem, Washington. Cool. I've never heard of Yem. In the Finger Lakes.
Yelm.
What is it?
It's Yelm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's missing an L.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yelm. Yelm. The Finger Lakes. What? There's like a reference of the Finger Lakes in a show or a movie or something that I know, and it's gonna drive me crazy until I remember what it is. Ann Arbor, Michigan. Arcata, Calif- Arcata, California. And the okay, UK. Nice. We're going international. Seattle, Alberta, Canada, Tucson, Arizona, San Diego. Love San Diego. And yeah, Vinay's holding it down on the other side of the world. Hey, Vinay. Toronto. Okay. The red. Oh, okay. In the redwoods. It's such a beautiful part of the country. In the Republic of the Dominican in New York City. A lot of Dominicans down there. A lot of baseball fans. Cool. Well, it's so good to be with everybody here. And for those that don't know me, my name is Eron Zehavi. For those that do know me, my name is also Eron Zehavi. I've always wondered, every time somebody says that, they're like, for those who don't know me, my name is, Eron. And I always think, well, what about for the people that do know you? And I don't know a better way to introduce yourself now. If anybody has any ideas of how to say that when you introduce yourself to somebody or to a new group, I'd love to know because I haven't been able to think of one yet. But I can't not think of that when I hear somebody say it. And I love this community and so many people on this call. I haven't been around in a while. Hi, Karen. Yeah, good to see you too. There you are. Hey. And so for some people, it's old hanging out with old friends. Not that you guys are old. Our friendship is old. Got to be another word for that too. I'm on very little sleep too. I should just let everybody know. So that's why I got this. And then the new friends are like, hey, great, who's this guy? But we'll figure it out. We'll have a really fun time together. And I think probably a good place to start would be, let's turn it over to Cornelia. Cornelia, are you ready yet to do
I am
announcements?
ready. Yes, I'm ready
Okay.
to do the announcement. So, hello everyone. Today it's my turn to give you the announcement for the week. And this week we start off on Tuesday, October the 28th, which at usual time at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we have our Portuguese Ancient Secrets community call. And then on Friday, October the 31st, or if you are somewhere in very east, like in Australia, then it's already November the 1st, we have the Asia Pacific. And in this week, also the Global Ancient Secrets community call, because it's a very special day on Friday, which is Halloween. So we had the idea, or actually Cordell had the idea that we should do something about that. So we invite everyone to show up, maybe in costumes on Friday evening. And the time is 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And then for Europe, it's not so quite convenient because it's in the middle of the night and then the different times that it is then in Asia Pacific. So that is then what we have for this week. Then the following week, no, actually not the following week, sorry, it's on the 12th of November, we have our next art and creativity time. And this time we are actually doing mandalas. If you have opened the newsletter, you saw that. And I'm going to host that call because I love doing mandalas. Since I was a little child, I always was creating mandalas as little stones. And so now we are actually creating whatever you want to do for a mandala. So that's on the 12th of November, and it will be the usual donation suggestion is $5 for session. And you find also the information in the newsletter, but we can also post it here in the chat where you can register for that. And then you have already probably heard of that. We have the Gentle Detox coming up in December. It's a 7-day Gentle Detox, and it will start on December the 14th. And so for 7 days, ending on the 20th. And so we will have the celebration actually then on the 21st, which is the winter solstice. And then, as you all know, we do have our usual, all the courses that we have that are currently being self-guided, like the 7 days, 30 days detoxes are self-guided. We have also the Ancient Secrets 101, and the 100 days that is self-guided. And we already know that there is a very new course coming up very soon in the new year. And we will let you know about that as soon as we have more details. And then also, as we have started to do lately, we also have sharing the recipe of the week here with you. And Brodell is going to bring it up on the screen. I hope he is. Yeah, here you go. So this week we have the steamed apple with cloves, a gentle digestive remedy, but it's also good when you're not detoxing. It's really, really good. So you use an organic apple and then you eat whole cloves, and then you can also put a little bit of cinnamon on it, and then you can kind of quarter the apples, put the cloves, 2 cloves on each of the quarters, and then you put them in the small covered pan and in the oven for a short time, and then, or in the pan. You can also do it in a pan if you want to. And it's just so delicious. And if you are really having issues with digestion, you might want to take just the flesh and not the skin of the apple. So that is what we have this week. And as usual, this is also in our newsletter. And I think that's it for this week that we have our announcements. Back to you, Eron.
That picture looks so good too. Like,
Yep.
I love the fall. Every season kind of has its own flavors and thing. You know, I think spring might be like cherry and lemon, but I think the fall is my favorite. I'm that sucker that anytime I go in now for like the next month, if I get smoothies or coffees at a place, it's I have to get the pumpkin spice flavor that's available. So, first of all, I want to check. I turned on like I have a little space heater, because I love hot air, which probably is not a surprise for those that know me. I want to make sure, is it creating any sound issues for anybody? Okay, amazing. So gosh, there's so many things that we could dive into, and part of me, I just want to sit and chat and open up and catch up with everyone and see how everyone's doing, but I also want to share a bit. And what felt on my heart to bring into the space today was around maybe my favorite teaching from the Ancient Secrets. And Vinay, there you are. Good to see you. Might be able to drop a page number or not. It's not necessary. Is around Athiti Devo Bhava. And just with maybe a show of hands, or you can type into the comments. I just want to know who's familiar with that term, who's not familiar with that term. So let's see. So it looks like a lot of, yeah, maybe just type yes or no. That's a good idea. Thank you, Susan. Yes, yes. I would imagine with this group, there might not be any no's. Okay, beautiful. So everyone's already familiar with it. And then you might think, well, I already know about Athiti Devo Bhava. Was looking, okay, great. Christine's looking for a little bit more. But even if you are totally familiar with it and you're thinking, I already know about this, why are we talking about this? Then that is very meta of Athiti Devo Bhava. Because what it teaches is that anything and everything that we experience is as if God, him or herself, was a guest at our door. And the foundation of it, the principle of it, essentially is gratitude. And because everybody already knows about it and the heart of it in a lot of ways. I think for today, what I'll share and we'll get a little bit deeper on, and maybe we'll come at another angle, is we'll get in a bit to the metaphysicalness and the esoteric side of it, and the multidimensionality of it, and sort of that kind of the mysticism, but we'll make it very accessible. And it comes from the way, even just to set the premise, that I believe, and you are all welcome to agree or not, but I believe there's only one truth in all of existence, and that truth is that all is one. There's just one thing, the one infinite, eternal energy source. And some call it source or creator. Some may call it God. I actually now, as I hear Dr. Naram's voice in my head from one of his, I think it was the sleep meditation, when he says, some may call it Krishna, and some may call it Jesus, and some may call it Buddha, and some may call it God and creator, and so many other names. So the one thing that's true is that it's all one thing. And everything else is just story. And we tend to, when somebody says you're just, that's just a story, people sometimes will clack back, say, no, it's true. It happened. It's true. That's my experience. It's real. And it doesn't necessarily make it unreal for you, but there's a subjectivity around our perspective. So there's the thing that happened, and then there's our perception of the thing that happened. And our perception of the thing that happened is what dictates and determines our experience of life. Make sense? And so I'm gonna elucidate on that a little bit, and because I also find I love stories, and the different people relate or have a receptivity to different context, different words, different colors, different feelings, different stories. And so we're all just kind of piecing the elephant together, so to speak, which that might be a reference that is obscure to people. So let me check in. And you can type yes or no in here. Actually, you guys are great on the chats. Let's keep doing that. That's fun. How many of you know the parable of the 5 blind men and the elephant? I hope there's a lot of no's, because it's my favorite parable ever. Yes, yes, no, yes. Okay, a little. I might, okay, yes. Even if everybody writes yes, I'm still probably going to tell it anyway. But I just might not expand on it for so much. 2 elephant parables. Okay. Okay, Beverly, this is for you then. I'm so excited when there's like one person that hasn't heard it. I just love this so much. And I also want you guys to know, as tangential as it might appear that I go, I promise you, this all has to do with the Athiti Devo Bhava. And the beautiful thing of that is, even if I lose track of where I am and I'm on some tangent, or someone else is, it's all one thing. So it has to be about it in some way. We're all going to come back. It's like Jerem will appreciate this. It's probably like a freestyle jazz improv solo, where there's a jam going, and you're like 86 bars in, and nobody's even playing the same chords, and it's so dissonant, and you have no idea what's going on. And then all of a sudden, But when it comes back, when we bring it back to that resonance, and it's just this like, makes it all worth it. And that's also a bit of Athiti Devo Bhava. That's the heart of the Athiti Devo Bhava. When you have that moment, when you're in just the challenge and you're mired in the muck and can't understand why what's happening is happening. And then you can come back into that resolution and you're just, and that's, I think, what we are all in many ways seeking in life. If there's anything we're seeking, is we're just seeking that, we just want to feel, pretty good. So, okay, a lot of no's. Wonderful. So there's a creature and there's 5 blind men and they've never seen this creature. Well, they've actually never seen anything because they're blind, but they've never experienced this creature. And one of them feels the trunk and says, this creature is very long and it's wet at the very end and almost feels like a long hose. And the second creature, excuse me, the second blind man says, no, it isn't actually. This creature is very smooth and it's sharp at the end. It's almost like a sword because he feels the tusk. And the third one says, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This creature is kind of long and wispy. It's almost like a rope, fuzzy at the end. And he's feeling the tail. And a fourth one says, you guys must be feeling a different creature. This creature is, it's almost like a big blanket. It's very wafty. And because he's feeling the ears. And the fifth one says, you guys are crazy. This creature is massive. I can't even get my hands around it because he's feeling the legs. So, which one of them is right? And which one of them is wrong? I won't have you put your answers in the chat because they're all right. And they're all, I guess we could say, wrong. I mean, I say I don't really subscribe so much to the right or wrong, but they're all telling the truth. They're all right based on their perspective. Yes, exactly, Barbara, but it's limited. So none of them, they're all true, but none of them can see the whole. So it's not all. And isn't this such a great mirror of what we experience in life? We experience it in a lot with religion, with politics, with anything that people have strong differences of opinion for. All impartial, limited perspective. Yes, exactly. But they're also true. So you could imagine trying to tell the blind man who's feeling the tail, says the creature's sharp, and he says, no, it isn't. Are you calling me a liar? I know what I felt. I'm not lying. And no, he's not lying. But it's still just a perspective. And another way of saying a perspective is of saying a story. It's just a story. That's a story of his perspective. And the parable tends to end at that point to it is definitely a paradox. The parable tends to end to just prove that point, that we're all right and we're all wrong. But what I think about a lot, and where I believe we are right now as humanity, and really kind of what we're doing on this call, is what happens when all the blind men come and sit around the fire and say, oh, this was my perspective. And another one says, fascinating. My perspective is wildly different than yours. But instead of fighting against each other, they actually get to piece together the elephant, to literally remember the elephant. And when we can steep ourselves in the knowing that everything is one, all is one, the law is one, and we come from that one, and we return to the one, and we've never left the one. It is just the one. Then we can be in the resonance of remembering, because it's everything we've actually already known from the one. And now we'll get into a little bit of the multidimensionality of life. And let me check in with that too, because multidimensionality can be real woo-woo for some people, and for others it's like, yeah, sure. So maybe by I have a feeling where this one's going to go, but show of hands, how many people believe that you are a multidimensional being? Show of hands. Okay. So there's a lot, some, about half a lot that don't. Okay, great. But there's a fair amount. And so let's break this down. And so we're gonna get into the mechanics of Athiti Devo Bhava. Athiti Devo Bhava is a very romantic story. It's a poetic story. We're gonna get into the quantum of it a bit, the metaphysics of it. For that part of our brain that wants to have that processing is going to be satiated. So we know that everything is one. Actually, first, let's look at what are dimensions. So that can be a real kind of woo-woo cosmic thing, but length, width, and height are all dimensions, right? And you put them together, those are 3 dimensions. And that's where we get the 3rd dimension, what we call space. 3D. Length, width, and height. It's a tangible object. We have form and we have structure. And this is where our bodies exist. And the foundation of our science, what we call science, although it's funny, it's on this call, we're steeped in science, a sort of an Eastern science from that perspective that's going back 6,000 years. I don't know, Vinay, could we put a timeline on how far back this science goes of what we're talking about here? Thousands of years.
It's beyond 5,000.
Beyond 5,000. And Isaac Newton, the guy who had the apple fall on his head 350 years ago, he wrote a book called Principia, which has kind of become the foundation for Western science. And in the West, we don't call Western science, we just call it science. And what do we call other types of science? Bogus. So we've developed a lot of conceit with our own science. So now this science, and it's brilliant, this Newtonian physics, based on a lot of the work of Isaac Newton, is based a lot on the physical world and what we can see and what we can taste and what we can feel, our 5 senses. It's all based in really the 3rd dimension, in the dimension of space. What can we measure? And that's wonderful, because that is another blind man looking at the elephant. Do you guys get that? Well, our science, our measurement, and that's wonderful. The challenge is that we have grown to have such a tremendous conceit that we say, if we can't measure it, if we can't poke it, if we can't touch it, if we can't see it with our eyes, then it's not real. and it doesn't exist. And that's just silly. We just don't see that part of the elephant. And so we're going to break this down. We'll take another step further to be really clear on the dimensions. So the dimension of space has a certain set of rules, the laws of science. You can't break the laws. If something is in motion, it stays in motion. I'm sure you guys remember that from whatever, 7th grade physics or whatever. And there's a few other laws as well. But now, show of hands, how many people here have a mind? Okay, great. If you're not raising your hand, you're just not participating now. Who has a mind? Okay. Beautiful. Yes. Good. Thank you. Yes, perfect. There the hands come up. Thank you. Can you poke your mind? Can anybody poke your mind? Can anybody smell your mind? Can anybody see or taste your mind? No. So, your mind exists in a different dimension than space simply because it adheres to a different set of laws than the dimension of space. Does it make sense? Right? Pretty clear. So, if you have a mind and your mind does not exist in the dimension of space, but your body exists in the dimension of space, and your mind exists, then you must be a multi-dimensional being. Isn't that fun? So we could expand a lot on that, but we won't go too deep. But now that we've set ourselves a frame, where does the mind exist then? We can enter into the fourth dimension, which is a dimension of time that operates with a different set of laws. It's radial, it's expansive, in the same way that our mind does. So probably a good point for us we'll put a pin in that. But now we know we have a body and we have a mind, and they operate in different dimensions. And we also have soul and spirit, and we could go on. But now let's come back. Just let me check in. Everybody with me? It's good? All right. Okay, perfect. Now we got the head shaking. The heads are nodding. So let's come back from, we've talked about 1. We've talked about 3. And we've talked about 4. What about 2? The heart of Athiti Devo Bhava exists in the 2. And we're going to break that down a little bit. So from the 1, infinite, everything, no boundary, no border, comes duality, polarity, multiplicity. These are our stories of the yin and the yang, the eagle condor, for those that might know that prophecy, the masculine and the feminine. So first of all, it's something that I don't think we give enough appreciation for. The fact that everything is just this one singular, infinite field of energy, and somehow we experience duality and polarity and multiplicity and otherness. We're all individuals on this call, even though it's just one field of energy. That's mind-blowing. That's our body, even our one body has like 80 trillion cells in it. And somehow those cells know what to do at every single moment of the entirety of our lives. And while we're sitting here chatting, listening, thinking, they're all operating. There's some energy, that one energy is literally pumping our hearts for us. It's quite literally breathing us alive. And is it the quantum field? Yes, that's another name. That's another, well, another story, another frame, another perspective of the what is this field. So as we're sitting here being individuals in our own, all over the planet, we have 80 trillion cells that are all coming together to make us at every single moment of the entirety of our lives, while some energy, some source, some force is literally breathing us alive. Has anybody on this call thought about pumping your heart or breathing your lungs while we were sitting here so that you could live? Has anybody I haven't. And I haven't shut up the whole time. And somehow I'm still here. Something, some force. Whatever that force is, whatever name you want to call it, can we agree that it loves us so friggin' much that it's literally breathing us alive for us to come together and have this conversation this morning? Yeah. I actually can feel it. I just got goosebumps down my arms. One of the best parts about talking is not talking. There's such a beauty in the silence that comes afterwards. And we can just sit and feel the words, feel the experience of it. Is anybody else feeling a little tingly right now? Did anybody get that? Yeah, I see Jane's nodding her head. So let me just check in. Linda, I see your hand is up. Is it up from before? Was there something? Okay, brought it down. And we've been covering a lot. We're getting into the good stuff here. Let me just check in if anybody has anything to jump in, or if we can keep going. Are we good? Okay. So now, this force loves us so much, and we experience multiplicity and duality. Then how come? Okay, I would just, if this is like a PG call, it would be so easy for me to drop some four-letter words right now. How come the you know what hits the fan so much, and how come life can be so flippin' hard sometimes? Why is it so hard? Why is it so sad? Why is it so challenging and difficult and painful? I thought it's all one. We're all one, and it's so loving, and we chose to do this. Why on earth would we ever create something that was so difficult? So now we get into the heart of the essence of the two, of the duality. Why did we do that? Why would God, and I'm going to refer, so in the names, I'll just say this, that we call the stories we tell. I like to say the word God. That's, and it means different things to different people. And for the sake of storytelling, I usually refer to God as a he. So I want to just call that out because that's just the story. There's the great mystery beyond any of that. So why would God, in all of his infinitude of wisdom and love, choose to create? Why would he go from this to this? And in the infinite singular one, as much as everything exists, everything is there, but there's not an other. And so even the ability to experience self, and this is a little bit of a kind of a trip, is not available. There's no reflection. And when there's no other, and everything is just love, and that's the present of it, I mean, that's wonderful and beautiful. But I want you to consider that if the sun was out always, 24 hours a day, if the moon didn't exist, then none of us would know what daytime is. If the only flavor that existed in the world was vanilla, then none of us would know what vanilla tasted like. You have to have chocolate to have a context to understand what vanilla is. Does that make sense? You guys get that? And if not, please, definitely share. So, chocolate and vanilla are both, for most people, pleasurable. But now, when we have duality, we have a spectrum, we have a line, and there's polarity at the end of these lines, although there's not really an end, but we get the idea of it. And so the polarity, or the opposite, or the balance of, let's say, love. What do you think? Type it in. If it's, say, 0 to 100, and this is love is 100, what's at 0? I want you guys to type in your thoughts. Hate and fear. No love. And if nothingness. Shifra doesn't understand the scale. Okay, we'll
I don't
break that down.
understand what the 1 to 100 is. I just didn't understand what you were saying.
Oh,
Sorry.
sure. I was kind of putting numbers there. Let's say there was a scale. Let's say we have this this line now from 0 to 100. And at 100, it's all love. Like this scale, you're maxed out at love. And if it was at 0, what would it be? I would say no empathy, opposite of love. Exactly. What's the opposite of love? Is fear. Some would say hate. Let's go with fear and love. So I bet many of us are familiar with that idea of, like, we have these two choices between fear and love. And so now let me ask you another one. This one will really break it down. Same scale of duality, okay? 0 to 100. If 100 is light, what is 0? What do you think? You guys could type it in. Yes. Darkness. Dark. Exactly. Light and dark. But now, just even another frame, another perspective, do you recognize? And this is what Barbara said, bonus points to Barbara, that darkness is just the absence of light. It's not a thing in and of itself. When light isn't present, this spectrum is a spectrum of light. And what we call dark is just no light. But it's a light spectrum. So even when we are experiencing tremendous fear, it's just an absence of love or potentially trust. And so, but what it is that we're creating, the opportunity, what it is this 100. We're kind of seeking the 100, right? Has anybody ever got a point and said, you know what? I'm too happy. I mean, I gotta turn it down a little bit. I got too much love. I'm a little bit maxed out on my gratitude. Let me find some things to not be happy about. No. So now that we have duality and polarity and multiplicity, it opens up the opportunity for us to do things such as learn. How could you learn something if you didn't have the experience of not knowing it? It has the opportunity of growth and evolution. How could something grow if it was already at 100? It creates the opportunity for resilience. How could you extend and exude being resilient if there was nothing to overcome? And so we can continue to extrapolate that all of these things that we value. Preciousness. We all have things or people in our lives. It all comes down really to people. People are that we love. Pets. And such is the nature of this ride of the human experience. You know, the park never closes, but the ride ends. And then we go on another ride. And that can be really sad and really difficult. But if that never happened, then nothing would be precious. Preciousness exists in the experience of loss. Do you guys get that? Yeah. And we can have the foundation to come back to that nothing's ever actually lost because it's all one. And that's good. That feels nice. But then in this game, in this experience, we play with that. And then we have our emotions and our hearts and our feelings and our thoughts and our toolkit, all these ways of processing. And it can be such a spectrum. And what a gift that we get to feel, that we get to have these experiences. Because if not, then we wouldn't be able to be here. You know, I drink coffee maybe like 3 times a week. And because I look forward to it. I'm like, I put some cinnamon in it this morning. This tastes so good. I'm so happy to have this, but I wouldn't be able to have this if we didn't create duality. I wouldn't know what cinnamon tastes like with coconut oil and some steamed almond milk, which is great. But that also means with that, I'm also going to experience paraplegia. I'm going to experience the joy and grief of watching my children grow. It's all of it. We either get all of it or we get none of it. That's kind of how it works. And so as an extension, so this one energy, this one field, this one source, whatever name we give it, I think we can all agree, I don't think it can be argued, that it is a creative force. That's all it's doing. It's just energy creating and extending itself. So the question is, where does the spectrum of consciousness and unconsciousness fit in? Well, with the story of what those things mean, what I believe that refers to really is awareness. And I would attest that in this regard, consciousness and unconsciousness is simply how aware we are that what I'm saying is happening. Or if you would want to say true. Because what is. And we can deny it all we want, but that would be very unconscious of us to do so. So the more conscious we are, the more aware that we are of what is actually transpiring. And what is transpiring is that we are an extension of creation creating itself. The paradox of all paradoxes. There is no boundary or end or border to the infinite. It's not a number. The infinite is not many. It's one. And we are somehow infinity expanding. Wrap your head around that. But that's what's happening. And that's also part of what makes each one of us so important. As minuscule as we might be, creation would not be complete with any of us not here. And if you have, think about, let's come back to the cells in your body. You could have a cell, something could go wrong for a split second in just the tiniest aspect of your body, and it could be game over. So one little cell could be like that. And we're one cell of a larger body here. And so now, each of us, an individuated expression of the whole, like a wave out of the ocean. There's just one ocean, but there's a multitude of waves. Like a ray of light. I'll ask you this. This is a fun question, and it might seem like a trick question. And I want you to type in your answers. How many lights does the sun emit? What do you guys think? You can type in your answers. How many lights does the sun emit? Schiffer says one. One. Linda, I hope it's happy tears, whatever the tears are, just holding you in it. Yeah, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. If there's anything we can do to support you now, let us know. You guys are on it. Yeah, it's one. The sun emits one light. But there is a multitude of rays of light. And each one of us is just an individuated ray of light. There's just one light, there's one humanity, and there's these individual humans. And because we are extensions of this creative force that just wants to create and extend creation, as extensions of this infinite creator, not an infinite consumer, we're extensions of an infinite creator. The only way that we're able to create and experience creation is where? In the duality, in the polarity. I'm going to give you an example to make that very clear. Let's say that you have a person, your kid, and when kids are, the parents make them food. So, and maybe you got a good partner in your life that always makes you breakfast. Okay. Let's say that. So you got a partner makes you breakfast every morning. And so you're never hungry. You don't know hunger. You don't have to create your breakfast. You consume. And so now your hunger is satiated. And let's say that your partner decides to leave, goes on a vacation, just doesn't want to make you breakfast anymore. So what do? One of two things happen. You either learn how to make breakfast or you starve, right? So the hunger is the catalyst for you to learn how to make your breakfast. And if you don't use that catalyst to learn how to create your food, you will suffer and you will struggle. Does that make sense? And you will starve. What about, I'm a big advocate for those that know me and for those that don't know me. I'm a big advocate for peace. Okay, that's something that's very near and dear on my heart. I have the banner of peace here for those that know this. Shout out to Nicholas Rorich. Now, we can pray for peace. And if we're in a world that hands us peace, and we look outside and it's all peace, that's pretty nice. But as an extension of creation that desires to create, what is necessary to create peace? What do you need? You need turmoil. You need the contrast. Let's really drive this home and make it super clear. If you got a high-powered flashlight and you want to know how much light, how powerful is this light that I can create from this flashlight? What's the one thing you need? And you guys can type it into the chat. Yeah, good to see you too, Jerem. Take care, brother. To know just how much light you can shine with that flashlight, what do you need? Power. Dark, you got to turn it on. So to turn it on, you need to turn it on and you need to have power. But let's say you walked out into the noonday sun out in Cottonwood, Arizona, and you had power and you turned on your flashlight. Would you be able to see it? You wouldn't even see it. You wouldn't know how much light you were able to create. You need darkness. Do you guys get that? It's essential. It's requisite. It's imperative in this experience of duality to experience creation, to know how to create what we desire. It's requisite that we have the polarity as the catalyst and the condition for us to be able to do that. And so it can be really difficult and really challenging and really sad. And as Schiffer's mentioned with genocide and killing, yeah, there's atrocious things that happen on this planet. Atrocious. And the only way, though, that the dark wins is when your light dims. It doesn't mean that we don't care. It means we care so much. But if the goal is light and we want to create light, and the darkness is here, and the darkness is going to pull us, the darkness, remember, the darkness is the absence of light. And so all of this dark and all of the worst, horrible things that are happening, and then it just pulls us here. And what happens? The light is not being created. We're not extending light. And that's what we came to do. But how do we create the light? It's because of this. That doesn't validate the darkness. You guys get that? It doesn't justify it. We're just acknowledging what is. And Luke says, darkness and light are part of the illusion. Yes. It's part of this duality. Shifra, you don't believe we need mass killing. I would love peace. It's not about us needing it. It's about acknowledging and recognizing that it's there. Because remember, everything exists. Everything. And this one might rub a couple people the wrong way. Maybe not. But this is important. It's really important. Every single thing that exists, every single thing you experience is happening within your own consciousness. And I want to reflect to you, I'm going to give you guys an exercise. I want you all to imagine something beyond your imagination, outside of your imagination. And as soon as you have it, I want you to raise your hand. We're going to be here a while, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing beyond your consciousness. Everything that you experience is within your consciousness. You get that? This is a big one, you guys. I want to make sure you're with me. The bombs, the genocides, the killing, the trafficking, all of the worst things that you say, I have nothing to do with it. That's them. That's not me. It's within our consciousness, our awareness, our story, our perspective. And it's there. We're experiencing it. We're not in the experience of having the bomb fall, but we are experiencing the awareness of it. And so what do we do with it? Athiti Devo Bhava. We welcome it and say, how can I treat this like God? And what would we do if God came to our door? We would love it. We would do our best to just extend love, to hold it within our consciousness. And with that, I'm actually going to pause for a moment because my son's about to leave. Hey, Nathan. Oh, he already left? Okay. My daughter just came, and I appreciate this at this time. I'm going to have Nehemiah, if you can chat. So my daughter, my kid's mom just came. I don't know if you hear dogs barking. My daughter just came by. I'm going to have her just say hi to her for a moment because she's going back with her mom. Athiti Devo Bhava, the barking dogs and the children in the middle of the call. And you guys have been so wonderful with this. We're going to come back and bring it together. But I'm going to go on mute for a moment. Nehemiah, I'd love for you to share your wisdom and insights on this.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes because we had the
I like to share after your daughter. I don't want to take priority over your daughter.
I would love for you to share it. I'm going to give her a quick hug while she came in the house, and I should check on the time. Actually, Cornelia, what time do we end?
normally around that at that time, 12 o'clock. So you have a little bit to wrap it up, and then we go into breakout room.
Okay, beautiful. So we'll Nehemiah, why don't you go ahead and please share, and then we're gonna wrap this all up and then go into the breakout rooms. And I just want to also thank you guys. It was so connected and attentive here. Thank you.
First of all, I've been with you in breakout room about a year ago, and you have gone a long way, babe, in my perception. The Avi, I didn't figure out your first name, but the Avi, the gold of your name, has been purified a lot. And you might be already merged, but I can't know who is fully merged because I'm not merged yet fully. But you speak the same perspective of all my merged masters that I've met. At least in understanding you, it's beautiful. So what I want to add to it is a personal perspective of my perception. I've been born to the city of peace. Jerusalem means the city of peace. There's no place where there's more duality through the history and wars in Jerusalem. And I was born into the war when Jerusalem was under siege, like Gaza now, yeah. Just the weapons were not so as effective, But it was a kind of experience. My father was trying to bring peace and compromise, had to die in a war that he didn't want. And when I was 3 months. So I was born into this conflict, and I'm back there now on Zoom, trying to connect with the people of peace, the Jewish and the Palestinian, who are working together to expand peace. So it's a project that I created. Shifra is with me there, and another person from this group is with me there, and we are helping Jewish and Arabs to speak with each other to bring peace to the area where duality, where people others, I use the verb, people other each other so badly. So I believe that's my for each one of us. We are in a group where unity is coming to us because we are in this state. But for the world, which extremely is in duality now, more than ever before, it's the kind of the climax of Kali Yuga. And there's a prediction that I know from my Gong Master since 2016 that Kali Yuga start to end this year. And also the Mayan culture says that 26,000 year of agocentric is ending this year and moving towards trans-egocentric. So we are in the middle of the worst of the crisis of transition. But some people say 7 years, whatever it takes, it's time to transition. And by the way, today, my belief is political a bit. Today it started in New York City with the election of a person who is from another religion and another kind of belief. People start to, it's not yet official, but so from the center of the empire, New York, where there's so much duality there, and so much richness and poorness and all this in all around the world, they kind of export weapon and whatever the people who do that. Start the revolution, the first herald of the spring that the entire world is going to experience. And then there won't be perfect peace. Let's say that Satya Yuga comes, the Yuga of peace. Still there'll be conflict because the conflict is necessary for the trueness and for the creation, as what you presented. But we are so fortunate, and so there's people who in Gaza who are a disciple of Gandhi. Well, with me, we are fasting for peace and for the people who are starving in Gaza. It's so beautiful that now more and more people are joining the forces of unity, and we all play our part. God will do it anyway, but it's nice to be part of it. That's all.
Yes. Beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that, Nehemiah. And if you don't mind, if I could ask you, thank you. It's nice to sit in the resonance of your wisdom and storytelling as well. I remember always loving that. So thank you for that reflection. And I want to add to that is that, we, there's always these moments that we experience of now this happened, or this with this treaty, or this election, or this thing that never ends. Um, every moment exists in this now, and so within that, these things that will catalyze this hope or possibility. But it all begins and ends with the self and what we choose as extensions of creation. The only thing that we have the ability to actually control is the energy that we emit and that we output. And so, as Christine was asking, if we could just all do this, if we would no longer be projecting our darkness into the collective consciousness, would that be the end of war? Yes. Yeah, of course it would. Now, we'd say, well, we need the other people to do it. Okay, great. What does that have to do with you? Does that in any way, shape, or form change what there is to do for each of us as an individual to extend the good, the holy, and the beautiful, to create as much light as possible? Is there anything else that we can do that is more advantageous to creating peace than to literally create peace? What else can we do? We can do what we can do. And then we say, but it doesn't work. Look at the other people. It's like, oh, okay, well, then I guess let's diminish our light. Let's diminish our peace. Let's match the darkness. And that's going to help. Right? Doesn't make any sense. You guys get that? But what are we supposed to do? We're just supposed to be happy and celebrate, and we're just supposed to love our families, and we're supposed to just laugh and enjoy our lives when horrible things are happening? Yes, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. Doesn't mean that we don't pray. Of course, we pray and we cry and we grieve and we feel. And then what do? And then our job is to come back to the light. Otherwise, we're waiting for something else to change and we give away our power. If you are waiting for the external world to change, then you are living in an inverted world. Energy creates matter. Matter does not create energy. Right? So if you are looking in the physical and saying, as soon as everything around me is peaceful. Oh, hey, bud. Hey, come on in. This is for those of you guys that might remember it, might know, he's so tall he can't even fit on the screen anymore. He's 13 now, so this is Nate. Why don't you just drop it and say hi for a second? It was good timing. I was just getting to the climax. It was perfect timing. So we're gonna. Are you leaving? Yeah, I'm leaving. Okay, love you, bud. All right, talk to you soon. Bye. See you. Yeah. Okay, my boy. If you are waiting for the external world to change, then you're missing the point. We are extensions of an infinite creative source. All that we have the ability to do is shift and create our own consciousness. It's the only thing we have control over. Martin Luther King is such a master at this wisdom. There's so many quotes that are running through my mind right now that I could think of. Greater is the light that comes from the darkness. It is always darkest right before the dawn. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Athiti Devo Bhava teaches us that no matter what we experience, no matter what the external world reflects to us, no matter what comes into our door, our job is to treat it as if it were God and to love it. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't justify it. But it doesn't change the fact that the greatest thing we can do is to take the darkness and to take the challenge and to transmute it into love. It's the only thing that we can do if we want to have the resolution that we all desire of a peaceful, loving, benevolent world. And if anybody disagrees and thinks that there's something better that we could do than actually generate as much love as we possibly can, particularly, especially when there is the challenge and the darkness, which in the duality and polarity, we can recognize as a gift that was given to us to provide the conditions necessary to generate the light that we want to emit into the world as extensions of creation in this mischievously perfect creation. If you have something better you think we could do, you let me know. I haven't found it yet. This is the heart of Athiti Devo Bhava.
A quick comment. There's nothing better, but we can add to it action in the physical world by speech, by political activism, if you choose to. But you are right, it's the most important thing. But you can add to it action if that's what you are called for. That's all.
And I'm glad you brought that up. 100%. So the last thing, we'll wrap this up, and then Cornelia will turn it over to you for what is to be next. I break this down into 3 stages. Stage 1, I call the grind. We're a human being doing. We identify as a human, and we value our worth and our success by what we do, and we take actions, and we're just on that hamster wheel. We're disconnected from source and God and purpose. And then we go through the stage 2 is the awakening. We're like, no, I'm not. I'm actually a spiritual being. I don't need to do anything. I become a spiritual being. Being replaces doing. Being a spiritual human replaces being being a spiritual being replaces being a human being. And then we get a lot of times disconnected and we float away, and we can look at all of the atrocities and say, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to be love. I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to be. But there's a 3rd stage. This is what Nehemiah was referring to. This is the stage that is being called in now. This is the blind men coming together around the fire. This 3rd stage is called the embodiment. And that is when we become a spiritual being doing. We want to take action. Yes, action exists in form, in space. But the action must come from love if we want it to be able to have the impact that we desire. What are we creating? What are we extending? Absolutely bring it into action. I don't remember who said this, but it was somebody said, I will never protest against something. I will only stand for something. And it's an important nuance. So it all comes back into the one, the infinite, the all. We extend our energy out. The polarity, the challenge, the difficulty comes. We use it as a catalyst here of what we generate. And from that, we bring it into form. And that is how we usher in the beloved community and the peaceful kingdom and the more beautiful world that we all know is possible. And why we're able, when we have the challenges and the difficulties come in, that we can say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the training. Thank you for the gift of duality. Thank you for trusting me and giving me this difficult challenge, because you trust me enough to know that it's something that I can work through. We're not being tested, my friends. We're being trained. And the training is necessary. We need to have challenge within our training so that we can be the extensions of the love that we desire, so we can learn how to create it actionably in form. Okay, let's take a moment, actually, before we do anything, and just breathe. Let's just take a moment and breathe. I want to invite everybody to just, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as long as you're not driving, just take a moment and softly close your eyes. Oh, okay. Okay, love you. I want to invite everybody to softly close your eyes. You don't have to think of something. You don't have to not think of something. I just want you to just to feel. Experience what you experience. You might have a thought cross your mind. You might notice a sensation in your body. You might be processing something that I said. You might still be thinking about the breakfast analogy because you're hungry and what you're going to make when this call is over. Something you got to do. It's all here. And what I want to impart with you, all the thoughts, all the feelings that are happening, they're not you. You're the one aware of the thoughts and the feelings. You're witnessing them. They are clouds in the sky, all within the singular field of consciousness, of mind. It's all within. And you're aware. And if you see or feel or experience something you don't prefer, it's okay. You don't have to deny it. It's there. What can you do? Extend love to it. And then you can also choose to shift your awareness and your perception to something else that you do prefer. That's okay. And what I'm going to ask when you guys open your eyes, and this is the last thing I promise before I turn it over to Cornelia. I want you just everybody to type a word. What are you feeling? What's your experience? Give language. Give words to your feeling, your experience of life right now, whatever it is. Barbara feels blessed. Linda's feeling sick. Jane is feeling love. Rodell is fulfilled. Roxanne and Rick feel everything and nothing. Susan is expanding love and gratitude. Beverly is peaceful. Bridget is light. Christine's a bit overwhelmed. Schiffer is feeling difficult love. Cornelia is peaceful. Carmen is moved by spirit. So many different feelings and emotions. And all of the things in the world are all still happening. We get to choose, my friends. Athiti Devo Bhava. Thank you so much for the time and beautiful receptivity and participation. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Aaron. That was amazing. And I hope we will see you soon again. It's not like last time, like, I don't know, 1.5 years or something like that you were on a call.
It's been a while.
And it's been long time. And I'm so glad you shared with us what you did. I definitely going back and rewatch it, what we heard today, because there was so much in it. And for everyone who is definitely watching the recording, you will also be blessed for what you shared today.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, there's two things real quick. I forgot. Vinay, Vinay was asking if I'd play a song, and I'm sorry, I totally forgot. So we'll have to find another time to play that. Two, if I may share with this group that of something I've been a long time in the making that we just opened up a couple of weeks ago. We just created a conscious community and educational platform called Soultivation. And it is a space for all of us to be able to come together and have these types of conversations around all of the things. It is radically cooperative and collaborative with everything, and in support of absolute support of ancient secrets, and a space for, what do we do when we want to have these? We can't really go on Facebook and TikTok, and there's many different rooms and ways of connecting. So would it be okay to share the URL for this site space?
Yeah.
Would love to invite everyone to come. It's a free community to join. I'm going to type it in it's called Soultivation, and it's Soultivation, Soultivation. And you can sign up, you can register for the community at community.soultivation.com. And literally just like 2 weeks ago. And there's already hundreds of people from around the world. It's really beautiful. Would love to see you guys there. It's just a place to extend the conversations. And we're going to be adding more classes and courses. I've been talking to Clint about incorporating ancient secrets, classes and courses and teachings into that community as well. So it's just one elephant. We're really just remembering God here. So would love to see you guys there if it feels aligned for you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. That is beautiful. And I guess you will see quite a few people over there who will join. So thank you again, Eron, for a wonderful call this morning. And I think everyone enjoyed it. So let's rub our hand together as we always do at the end of our calls and say, I love you and I'm with you. And I will open up the breakout rooms if anyone still has time.
I love you.
love
And
you.
I am
And
with
I'm
you.
with you.
I love you. And I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you.
Okay, thank you.
So deep.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
The breakout rooms are open, and I will go in and check that everyone has a partner.